Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your March monthly reading. This is Alchemist Tarot, serving tarot straight up. So I actually recorded your video yesterday, but unfortunately, it did not. My video turned off like halfway through. So I'm redoing this with all new cards and everything. So I'm gonna be pulling energy for the overall month, and then what's going to be going on in your main sectors of money, career, and love, what you need to watch out communication-wise, and then a card for each week for this month, okay? One thing I want to say is that my readings are really meant for your sun, moon, and rising, meaning that if you have a Gemini sun, moon, or rising, this might resonate for you. I also recommend watching your sun, moon, and rising sign videos because then it gives you a really holistic view on what's going to be happening for the month, okay? If you have not subscribed, please do so because it means the world to me, and it also just shows that my message is resonating with you guys. So let's see what's going to go on with Gemini for March, okay? And again, I apologize because I was like in the reading yesterday, just like giving good, like just channeling, and then all of a sudden my camera turned off. I'm like, what? Okay. All right. Okay. Give me just a second. Overall, this month for March, Gemini, you got the full card. Excellent energy. Really looking at March as, kind of a clean slate. I think also it's easy to do that because, number one, March is kind of the sign of spring and early spring. And we're starting to enter into the astrological calendar, new calendar cycle, spring equinox. And, the full card is all about literally starting with a clean slate, fresh start, new beginnings. Now, one thing I will tell you with the Fool, there is some naive energy that goes along with it because sometimes we just have to go with the flow and trust the situation, take this step into the unknown and understand that what is meant for you will always be for you. Gemini, I think that's kind of the mantra for you this month is that you may not have all the details and information, but as long as you go with faith and belief in yourself that, things are always working out for you, that's really going to lead you, very well in the future. So let's talk about money. Not the best card that I always like to see, but you got Five of Swords. So for the money sector, Gemini, this month, you might be experiencing, some financial strain on the home front. Maybe if you or if you live with someone, roommate, marriage partner, whatever the case is, siblings, it could be that money is starting to become a source of contention between parties. There could be some arguments around money. Maybe someone's not pulling their weight or they're overspending, but there could be some issues around money. Now, here's the thing what I would say, Gemini, you ruled by Mercury, of communication. So you have the gift of gab. Gemini, this is the time to just be open, upfront, and honest, whether it's that you feel that you're kind of taking on a lot of the burden around finances or, whatever the situation is. Because here's what's going to happen. If you hold back and if you choose not to hit the situation head on and confront it, it's going to fester. And then, Gemini, something very small could happen and you're going to get triggered and might say things that you could regret later on. Because the Five of Swords usually it's conflict and it's like, it's empty victories, meaning that you might be right and you got the final word and you got the final say and you put one over someone, but the problem is that it doesn't feel very good and the problem is still there. So I would just tell you I would face it head on. I would have very clear, honest, direct communication around money and finances and, work through it. And that's probably your best advice for this month in that area. So here we go with love. You got the Moon card. The Moon card is all about things could have been hidden from you or things now are starting to come up to the surface. Gemini, if you have been single or you are single, I don't necessarily see that this is the month that entering into a relationship or starting to date may not be number one, it might not be the priority, but two, I don't see you necessarily really focusing on love in that way. I feel like, number one, your emotions around love can be a little bit disjointed. This is March, so we're in Pisces season at the moment, and Pisces season is very much about deep emotions in the subconscious, that Neptunian energy. So I think that you could have your focus and viewpoints around love could be shifting a little bit, and you don't know how you feel about it. But I don't see that singles are really, gung-ho to get out there and just, start something fresh and new. If you are coupled, the moon card, for some of you, this is really, Gemini, I feel like with your person, partner, husband, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, I do feel like there could be some things that have been bothering you underneath the surface, like it's been getting underneath your skin, and you really do need to, you just need to address it head on, because what happens is that there could be some assuming, or you feel like somebody's not being truthful. It may not be that they're not being truthful to you. It's just maybe that they don't feel comfortable sharing the information with you. But one thing I'm going to tell you is that I do feel like if there's issues or communication strain with a partner, I think you just need to be open and honest and have a one-on-one, a heart-to-heart, because the moon can kind of cloud your judgment a little bit, and you might not have all the details. You might not have clear visibility on what's really going on, but your emotions might kick into high gear, and you might make decisions or say things that could really impact you as a couple. So I would just tell you, this might be some time where you have to have, to work as a couple through your relationship. There could be some strain there, but I do see it's worth it. So don't, put effort, okay? Career, 7 of Pentacles, fabulous energy. A lot of hard work going on in career. So Gemini, I do see, because you have maybe some strain on the home front a little bit, it looks like, that maybe you've been throwing yourself into work this month, or you might throw yourself into work this month. 7 of Pentacles is all about, really putting a lot of care and thought into a project, or maybe working with a client. There could be some sensitivity with clients this month where you just kind of have to not tread lightly, but you just have to understand that there might be some sensitivities just because of the energy in itself. We're not in any retrogrades, but it's just, I think people are kind of just treading lightly in general. So what I'm going to tell you is put a lot of care with the Pentacles energy. It's really being very focused on the details. This is, overlooking contracts, going through the fine print. You might have to explain things more than once with clients, meaning that you might have done this great presentation, but then a couple weeks later, the client's like, I don't get it. Can you explain it to me again? So there might be kind of a little bit more hand-holding at this time, but the more that you put care and attention to the people you're working with or the projects that you're working on, I really see it reaping rewards down the line. But you're going to have to probably put some extra work in. This may not be the time that you like to harvest, or you might see like the huge success and accolades that you're looking for yet. But I do see that you're seeing small progression, that you feel like you're on the right track, okay? Communication zone. Oh, got 8 of Cups. 8 of Cups is for some of you, you might having to make a tough decision about walking away from, a relationship or a person. It doesn't always have to mean romantic. It can be just personal or platonic, or even just a work colleague. But what I'm going to tell you is that, Gemini, this is not the month to ghost anyone. Don't ghost. Like, you owe this person a conversation to explain why you're kind of removing them out of your life, or maybe you're just walking away from a situation, or you're noticing patterns from that person that you don't want to be involved in. But here's the thing. You do need to take ownership and have the conversation, because if you just walk away and ghost someone this month, number one, that's always very immature energy, but don't run from a conversation this month, Gemini. And usually, it's weird for me having to say that, because Gemini, you're usually not that way. You're very social. You're very good at communicating. But I feel like there might be some uncomfortable discussions that you need to have. And first and foremost, if something's been bothering you, Gemini, and you address it, you do need to realize that you can't control what the other person how they're gonna feel, what they're gonna think or say or respond. So you also need to keep in your mind that maybe walking away might bring you more peace. Okay. All right. Give me 1 second. Okay. I'm so bad about making coffee in the morning and then I never drink it all. I hate wasting. First week of March, Ace of Wands, really good energy. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you is that it's under that Five of Swords. So here is what I would say. Gemini, instead, that Five of Swords, you might get frustrated with people around the finances and money. You might just do your own thing or start making decisions or being very action oriented on fixing your finances or getting them to a better place. Here's the thing. If this is on the home front, what I'm going to tell you is that if you do something outside and you don't include your partner or whoever you're financially tied to, then I would say that that's probably going to be a bad move. I think you need to, I would say like for some of you, approach with a plan, with a course of action and having some ideas to fix something, great. But if you just take off and do it, it might rub people wrong. Now, if you don't live with anybody and you're solo and you know that ultimately, finances have been kind of that there's been some root issues around that, you do need to take the ball in the court and you do need to take action behind fixing it, right? So you're the one that's going to make the change. So with this Ace of Wands, it can mean that like you get to the point where enough is enough and you start, being very adamant and very focused and very, assertive on fixing your finances and understanding how your money has gotten into the place it has, okay? Second week, you got Nine of Wands right under that Moon card, and this is kind of under that relationship sector. One thing I'm going to tell you, that second week, Nine of Wands, for some of you who might feel like the relationship or just in general, a lot of, maybe conversations have just been going in circles and you just feel like you're not making headway with some people in your life. What I'm going to tell you is if you feel the relationship has potential and there's just misunderstandings, that's one thing. But if you truly feel like the relationship has come to its course of end, then that's okay too. But you need to be open. You need to not back away from what you feel is right. This is also, for some of you, you might feel like giving up on a relationship, but there's a small part that wants to keep you in it. Nine of Wands is very much considered like the wounded warrior, and 9 is almost at completion. So I do feel like maybe if you guys are in a partnership in certain relationships, not just romantic, this could be just a hurdle that you guys have to get over. And, it's just honesty and clear communication and not letting, the what ifs kind of get in the way, but to deal with it head on. This is being resilient too. For a lot of you, understanding that no matter what, I'm always going to make it. I'm always going to land on my feet. But with the Moon card, you have to trust yourself. And this is really asking you to really dive deep and use your intuition to navigate through this month. And especially that second week, you might feel it harder than ever, okay? Third week, you got the Devil card, okay? So under that Seven of Pentacles, the Devil energy a lot of the times is where Gemini, maybe you have been working very hard and very focused on something. You've been throwing yourself into your career and work because of the contention in the other areas of your life. But one thing I'm going to tell you, for some of you Geminis, please, this would be a reminder not to, and don't use a distraction, meaning like drugs, alcohol, food, things like that, even sex, to make you forget of what's happening in other areas of your life. Gemini, this is really asking you to take ownership and take back control of your life. You're the only one that can fix it. So I do see that the Devil energy can be pretty challenging because there is maybe there's an addictive type of outlook, or you're trying to control something in your life because it makes you feel good that you have like power over it. But what I'm going to tell you is that's a facade. So if you find yourself being pulled in one direction to kind of numb the pain or numb other areas in your life that are causing you some hurt, I would say that there's definitely a deep-rooted issue there that you might want to look at. I'm obviously not a doctor or therapist, but I think if you continue to do that, you're going to become too dependent on whatever that is. So for some people, it certainly could be, drugs or alcohol or, food or overspending, shopping too much. It's that kind of compulsive, like, well, I had a bad day, so I'm going to go on a shopping spree. Right. That's fine. And there's nothing wrong with that. But are you shopping because you actually want the stuff? Or are you shopping because it makes you feel good and it fills a void? And because there's other things that are going on in your life that you need attention. So that's something to keep in mind for some of you. That third week is not to lose control, okay? Fourth week, you got the Death card. Under the Eight of Cups. So for many of you, this is a long time coming. You really have been thinking and feeling that you need to walk away from something or someone, and there is a pretty challenging discussion that you're going to need to have. I wouldn't run from it. I wouldn't ghost I would handle it like an adult. But I think this is not an easy thing for you. The Cups is all about, emotions and something that can trigger you in your heart. So with the Death energy coming up, this is very much a big shift in energy that you're finally coming to terms that you need to make the change. And there is a transformation on the horizon. And this is a lot of inner and shadow work. And it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to promise you that, but it's necessary. Okay, so the more that you can move on, and even this is a way of speaking to yourself in negative behaviors or negative patterns, Gemini. And that's also something that I feel like Spirit wants you to know, that don't give up on yourself. And I think this is a big, epiphany that you're starting to have. You're noticing how you treat yourself and talk to yourself, and how you've let people in your life who don't deserve real estate in your life anymore. When you walk away, that's a big shift, because it's almost like that's the lesson you needed to learn, to put yourself as a priority. Gemini, enjoy the rest of the month. I know this is kind of heavy energy, but you'll make it through it just like you always do. Make sure you follow me on TikTok and Instagram for more free insights. And if you're interested in readings and all that other good stuff, it's all in the description box. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.